Time-Man is a Kryptonian and a demonic Azuran person. He is half-breed between them two. His father is Jor-El and his mother is Aurora. Trigon's blood tainted Aurora's blood, making her part demonic. She has demon blood in her blood, but she's human. But because of that, making her have demon blood, and when she gave birth to Maddrox, made him half demon, half Kryptonian. But so because of that, yeah. But she sent him to Earth to protect him from Trigon, and because she sent him to Earth, the Earth atmosphere, the human Earth atmosphere, tainted his blood and turned him into a mutant. Which I'm pretty sure you should figure out where he goes from that point once he has been discovered as a mutant. But that's beside the point. His abilities is the power of time. He has the power of demonic abilities. And he can stand where he can just take your powers by just being right in the atmosphere of his area. By just being next to him, he automatically has your ability. And when I mean by that is that he could take your powers, your skills, your trained mindset, or things how you do things. Basically, he owns it all the way, even the format, as in like Spider-Man's web shootings, Wolverine's metal claws. He's got it all. His bones turn into metal, and it turns into metal when he uses the claws. His entire bones turn into metal in the inside of his body. And he is Time-Man. His real name is Scott Maddrox. He is 23 years old. He is 5'9", 140 pounds. Hair short black. Eye colors are milk white eyes. But they changed the green when he's angry. So does his skin turn a bit darker? Because he's an Azuran. Azurans do that. Just look at Raven. She does it all the time. And then his skin is red, half reddish. It's whitish, reddish, because he's an Azuran. It turned his skin. He was born with the red skin because of the fact that he's an Azuran demon, but he's only half of it. And then there's the other half that he's Kryptonian, which we all see how Kryptonians look. Just look at Superman. But he stops a robbery at a food market, clotheslines a dude, and gives back the goods to the owner to the food market that he is running, the post he's running. And they have a little chat. And then there's a guy who shows up. He shows up to ask for Maddrox's help. So he walks away from the owner on this food market spot. And this guy's name is Jake. He's someone I just made up on the spot. I'm just gonna narrow it down to his details a bit. He is 17 years old. He is 6 foot. He is also 160 pounds. Short and black. Eyes are brown. Skin is African American. And that is Jake. And there's not much of a backstory to him because he's just someone working for someone else. Well, she's gonna come into the story pretty soon. A lot sooner than you think. He asks Maddrox for help, but he calls him out. Like, round the spot. He calls him Time-Man. He says, because you're Time-Man. And then Maddrox is like, how the fuck do you know who I am? And he says it all like, really, like, kind of a bit of angry and aggressive at the same time because no one is supposed to remember him. Because by the end of his origin story, which I am gonna come out with his origin story later down the road, but at the end of his origin story is that everyone has forgotten who Time-Man is, including Time-Man. But the spell is broken and causes him to remember. Also, his weakness is pure magic. Pure magic. It's not one of these onesies and halfies and all that. It has to be pure magic. Or not at all. Because then, if you don't have pure magic, you're fucked. That's the end of the line. Kryptonite slows him down. And when I mean slows him down, I mean the green kryptonite slows him down. It causes him not to use his powers as much, but it's weak to him. The kryptonite is weaker than him. And only kryptonites that can affect him is all the other colors other than green. And pink, because fuck pink. I think that should never exist in the world. What was DZ thinking? I don't know. But pink does not affect him at all either. Fuck the pink. But there is a new kryptonite that has never been discovered by anybody except for one person, and that one person will be coming up in the next story, and I will go into that person's the backstory between that person and Time-Man, and explaining how this new kryptonite came about. And this new kryptonite, I'm going to leave it as a secret for now because I want you to see it, hear about it, like read about it yourself. I want you to discover it yourself as I come up with when I come to it. But he asks Maddrox to help. He basically is hiring Maddrox to be a bodyguard. He tells him that for the last few weeks and months that people have been disappearing all up in town. Like, they've disappeared. Nobody understands why. Nobody doesn't know how they're just disappearing the face of the face of Earth. But he's wanting to guarantee that his boss doesn't have the same fate. And then so Time-Man finally asked him, fine, who's your boss? He hands him a VIP pass stating security on the pass, stating that he has access to going backstage. But nobody else knows about this except for Jake. Not even Whitney knows. Yes, I'm saying Whitney. He asked, and so he says, my boss is Whitney Payton. She's the female rapper, singer that's on the stage right now, singing. So he takes the pass and goes in backstage. Meanwhile, he, at that same time while that's happening, as he is singing, as Whitney is singing the song Storybook, up above on the overseer. I wrote this a little bit earlier in the story, but this is actually the same timing of when it's supposed to happen. But up on an overseer, there's an assassin type character. I mean, he's not an assassin, but he acts like an assassin. He does his job very well. Plus, his father is an assassin. I will go into his backstory later down the road. And his name is Shadow Relic. Real name, unknown. Unknown real name. He doesn't, his real name is very unknown. There was at a time I did have his name. I did make up a name for him, but then I forgot what it was. And now I don't think I should give him my name. So he's going to be unknown. He's just going to be mysterious all the way. And he is the person that's been abducting these people in the city. And he's contacting his boss through a communicator, which will be revealed to the end. And he asks him, are you sure this is the target you're wanting? And as Shadow Relic has described her, his boss replies back, yes. Now wait till she's alone to snatch her up. Because you do it in public and in front of everybody, you're gonna be on her chase. There's no doubt about that. So he's telling him, wait till she's alone. Well, then we go back to Time-Man, and after the song is over, these guards come over, the security guards come over and grabs him, because they don't know what the hell. They can see he's got a badge, he's got a pass saying security and everything, but they don't know why he's there. They see it, but they can just say like, well, he's not supposed to be here. He stole that or something. And even Whitney doesn't even know why. So they even those up more eyebrows up, even for security and everything. And well, he tells Whitney that his ticket guy named Jake hired him to be her bodyguard. And then she had security come bring him over, and then he explains everything. And then they have their little arguments, and then they finally have their agreement. And then they finally, after the show was over, he even follows her to her van, and they drive to her place where she's staying at while she's on tour. And so as he's waiting in the room, and then he's looking through the window in the room that she's in. And as soon as he turns around, Shadow Relic busts through the window, and at the same time, Maddrox just took a hand blast and blasted him right back out the window. And it woke the whole wreckage, woke Whitney up, and she's like, what the hell was that? And he's like, well, you're under attack. And then quickly he's like, I don't got time to explain what the fuck I did. It was time to get going. He grabs her in a super speed to run into the van. They gather all her shit. He basically just went super speed and gathered everything, put it in the van, and he just took the van and started driving and put his hands like on the dashboard and used his powers to slow time down to make everything faster for them. And he goes to his freaking hideout, to his place, and has her stay there while he leaves and goes out and comes back. Well, they have a few conversation about the place because he's a juggalo and he's down with the clown. He has ICP stuff and all that in his place. They have a few talk about that. But then he takes off and goes in super speed, goes back, takes on Shadow Relic, and immediately tells Shadow Relic that you don't remember me, do you? And then he's like, yeah, dude, you're the guy who just blast me out the window. No, I mean before that. And so that, and then he picks him up by the neck, really high up, lifting him off the ground. And then he just takes one super punch and makes him go flying about, what was it? How much feet was it? I said, hang on. About 5 blocks away. Knocks him 5 blocks away from the location they were at. And he doesn't still give Shadow Relic a time to fight back. He just sits there and wails on him. And then knocks him out. Grabs him by his coat. And throws him up, and then he shoots webbing around out of his hands because he has Spider-Man's ability. Like I said, he's met previous superheroes. I don't know if I've said that yet or not. I'm not sure. But he has previous heroes' abilities, and he webs him up to a light post. And then he takes off. And then right after he's taken off, Shadow Relic wakes up, tied up in the webbing, and he struggles, and then he breaks out of the webbing, runs back to his boss. 12 hours later, 12 hours later, Whitney and Maddrox are at the bridge where she's going to leave New York. She's already done with New York doing the tour there, and she's going to go off to her next tour. But this is also him trying to make sure that she's safe, to make sure that Relic isn't, or anyone else working for Relic's boss, to come after her. So he making sure that she makes it out of the city safe. And so then when he does that, they actually have a talk. She was even trying to convince him into just continue on working as a bodyguard. And he says, no, he still got his business here. And, well, and because he's going to still try to take down who he knows who could be the cause of this. And she says that she feels like this is like starting to feel like this is like a comic book. And Maddrox breaks the fourth wall saying, well, this is a comic book. And she's like, what? It's like, never mind. But she gives him a hug, and then she gets in her van and drives off. And then we cut back to Relic, and he's run back to his boss, bursting through the door. His boss has got off of a live chat on his screen, on his computer or something like that. And Relic says that I failed, and he says that he remembers everything, but I don't remember anything or something like that. What we're gonna do? And then Lex says, he said, what we're gonna do, Lex Luthor? And then Lex says, don't worry, I'll deal with this. And as he's looking towards the reader, as he's looking towards breaking the fourth wall basically, and smiles. And then at the end, I put in descriptions on explaining who Lex Luthor, which I shouldn't have to because the fact that most of y'all should know who Lex Luthor is, but I put it in here just in case. If you want to see the descriptions, it's in the story, and my book is in the link below in the descriptions. And that is actually how the story ends for issue number 1. Issue number 2, I just got done writing it, and I'm in the moment typing it up on the computer. I got it like halfway done on the computer, but I'm not fully done. So once I get done typing it up, I will upload that, and then I'll tell you guys that story as well. There is a special surprise for number 2. No, it's not the secret kryptonite that I came up with, but it is someone special, and the story is going to be focused mostly on this person more than Time-Man. Time-Man is more of a secondary character in issue number 2. That's because this whole entire time he's been uploading the police. Basically, everyone, the police is alerted. This issue number 2 takes place within a week apart from what happened at the end of this. And it even says that at the very beginning. But that's pretty much the end of the story. Let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you hate it? So let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to listen into issue number 2, hit that subscribe button so you can keep being updated by me. This is my character, the Immortal Time-Man. The symbol you're seeing, that's his symbol. That's what he wears on his shirt. He hasn't worn it now, but back then he wore it all the time. He isn't wearing the shirt now because of the fact that he's no longer known to people and he's been underground for a while. Even the Lotus don't even know what the fuck happened to him. And they're not even affected by the magic. They just know that he's disappeared off the fucking earth. Like, he's just no longer himself. And now he doesn't even remember that he had the Lotus. In fact, the Lotus symbol is still marked onto his chest. Burned to his chest. Yes, that's to show that he is actually a true born, proven Lotus. But I'm going to go into that story later down the road. Because there's a nice little problem about the Lotus. And it's a bit of a realisticness to it. But yeah, that's basically it. Like, comment, subscribe. I've already said that. But, I mean, I'm just saying. You want to see more content of this? Then hit that subscribe button. If not, well then, alright. I understand maybe. You probably don't like my story. That's understandable. Everyone has their opinions. I'm not judging you. No one's judging. But part 2 is supposed to be a lot better. It's gotten a little bit more progressive. Part 3, I'm in the middle of writing part 3. At the same time, I'm also in the middle of writing Injustice 3. I'm gonna send that bitch over to NetherRealm. And then, yeah, NetherRealm's gonna start wanting more from me. I always wanted to be a game developer. Well, might as well start being a writer first. Write their fucking video games. But yeah, that's basically it. I've been holding you guys up for a little longer. Like I said, this story is very longer than what I said. I just basically summarized it. It's a shorter version of the story. If you want the full story, the full details and all, then go to fanfiction.net and punch up the Immortal Time-Man comic. Or you can just go to the link below in my description, or you can go to my channel at the top corner and it will say my book. There's like multiple ways you could just find me, or just Google it up on Google, the Immortal Time-Man comic. You'll find it multiple ways. So yeah, there's like plenty ways you can find me, find that book. And part 2 will be uploaded on there, and it'll just be called Chapter 2 on there, because that's how fan fiction works. It runs them like a chapter, but it's not a chapter, it's an issue, because it's supposed to be like a comic book. But I'm not a good drawer, and if any one of y'all can draw, let me know, and then maybe we can make this actually into an actual comic book. So if you guys are local, close enough, and you can draw, hit me up, because I need a drawer. And damn, I do need a drawer. So, yep. JS2H is out. Bitch.